Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Danganronpa. Strap yourselves in because it's trial time. I'll be keeping a close eye on the clock to make sure that parts don't, overextend their suggested limits. As soon as I loaded this save, the trial immediately began. It didn't bring me to the pre-trial screen or anything. So I'm just gonna load this right now and begin the trial. And here we go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
You know who else doesn't have an alibi? Kyoko. I'm like 85% sure it was Kyoko who devised the entire plan.
Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
These people are just misled and they refuse to analyze information.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Says the murderer.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
Yes, but didn't Hiro write the note that said for everyone to go to the dining hall, and wasn't that his handwriting, and that wasn't his handwriting on the blueprints?
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer? Or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. The environments have changed. It's now a night theme.
Everything we found in your room.
I'm just gonna let this play out.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Alright, it's one of the first two.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit part.
Got him.
No, that's wrong.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Another thing. Hifumi knew of Robo Justice before this whole affair happened. At the beginning of the chapter, he expressed, he said that he missed this anime called, like, Robo Justice or whatever. So he came up with the name. Isn't that suspicious?
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
You've been elusive this entire chapter as well. You haven't shown up as often. At one point, you were in the locker room with a bunch of books. What were you doing?
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit
Was me.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question. The one that must have been in the suit. The Illuminati? Are you serious? It didn't fit Hina. That suit didn't fit Hina. But it could have only been fitted for Hiro.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
Byakuya, you're playing me like a damn fiddle.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
It was Monokuma that said the true Blackened is the one that devised the plot, not the one who killed. And yet we don't have any proof that Yasuhiro actually killed anyone.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Oh, he always has a reason.
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items.
Dolly.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been... this one.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. And the tarp.
I got it!
Flawless so far, I'm loving it.
A dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
I don't see any other possibility.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room.
Huh.
It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
Maybe.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Ooh.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Ooh. Wow. I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. What? Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the Y button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the X button. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the X button in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember the X button now has a function along with the A and Y buttons. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Am I going into a bullet time battle? I must. Yep. Oh, good.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong.
Oh boy, how do I activate the thing again?
You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong.
I may have forgotten how to, there we go, RB, fever time.
You are a fool. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I can't believe I forgot the fever
If you're
time.
asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Feel like an idiot.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jesus, Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Because the suit couldn't bend at the knees, right? Or bend at the waist? What does he mean by that? Okay.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
I have a feeling that's it.
The dolly, no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
Alright, I feel like I know what it is.
As we know, Taka would and from there.
Yeah, the cult then loaded it on.
Now, keep in mind.
Well, yeah. All you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong.
I'm intelligent!
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Not to mention, totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit,
How would you be able to kill anybody?
it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Sure, that's also valid.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Absolutely no chance that a costume is taken off just to move the body because you can't take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
Is this really so hard to understand?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. Well, that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Am I gonna have to fight you multiple times?
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
I like you. You're thorough. You're the only one with the balls to inspect the bodies. No one else but you inspects the bodies thoroughly. I like that. I like you.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
Oh, do I have to do the collage thing again? I suck at those.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
Kyoko went to the 2nd floor, yes? And the next time we saw her, she was in the pool with Yasuhiro in the locker. Did she stay there the entire time?
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
You know the time exactly? Do you have a watch as well?
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the third floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
That could have been an opportunity to kill Hifumi. Celeste, what's wrong? Rather intense scream. Yes, I know.
and then...
So Celeste was blocking the stairs at the top. Someone else got to Hifumi. Must have been Hifumi.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead.
Well, he wasn't dead because he revived like 5 minutes later.
And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement.
For Taka.
I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again. But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
That's an understatement. Well, compared to the second trial, I suppose it's not too bad.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Information wasn't revealed chronologically. We had, like, Celeste's attack at 7 a.m., Taka's attack at 6 a.m., what else? Yeah, there's a lot of running around after that.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Monokuma file. All that says is they died from a blow to the head.
Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
It was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice...
Ah! I forgot about game mechanics. Again.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
I forgot about the truth bullet flashback and that you can use statements to contradict them. I'm on fire today.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order,
What about the hammer that was washed?
but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, Let's see the proof.
There's something that relates to what time he must have died. How about his wristwatch? Okay. This is easy. Wrist. Watch. Oop. There we go. Give me the A. Give me the C. That's not it. Give me the C. There we go. And give me the H. That one was easy.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
How long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
So the Justice Hammers had no significance other than just, deception?
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
So whoever designed this costume and painted the hammers must have known exactly what they were doing.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
It's past half an hour, I'm gonna end this soon.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
Can I pause here? I can pause here. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching. That was part 1 of the 3rd trial. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough thus far. I'm being a bit stupid this chapter. I made a lot of wrong assumptions and dumb statements. I'm very sorry about that, but I will try to remedy that and think before I speak in the 4th and subsequent chapters. Thank you very much for watching. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc is available on Steam and the Vita for $30. The sequel Goodbye Despair is also available on Steam and the Vita for $30. Please pick them up. They are mystifying, they are thrilling, they really train your brain, they force you to think. They're not for dumb people like me. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Toodaloo.